my god.
Yep, that's me.
Hi, it's finally time to film the mid-year book freakout tag. Actually, it's kind of overdue because I've seen a lot of booktubers already do this video, so I'm relatively late this year, mainly because my reading year has been kind of slow this year. I haven't really read a lot of books. I think throughout the years, this year is the year in which I've read the least so far by the mid-year point. That is quite interesting for me to see, but also quite sad because it's kind of like the first time wherein I've read so little, but it doesn't really matter. It's just that I personally feel sad because I like to read a lot of books, but I just haven't really had the time or the mood to do so lately. But yeah, anyway, I am still reading, so at least there's that. It's just that it comes in like flashes. Like for example, for a particular month I'll be really in the mood to read and I'll just keep reading, and then in another month I'll just not want to read anything. So anyway, it's kind of late but also kind of on time because I am officially 50% through my reading goal for the year, which I will get into later. So exactly 50%. Today is also the 30th of June, which is like literally the last day of the month that is smack in between the year. I don't know why this intro is so long, but yeah, okay. Anyway, let's get started. So I'll be looking at my phone because I've already answered the questions just to kind of like plan this video a bit better. Let's start with the first question. How many books have you read so far in 2023? I'm exactly halfway through, so I've read 43 books so far this year, and my reading goal is 86. I'm almost done with the 44th book actually, but I decided that I cannot wait any longer. I really need to film this video and get this out. So 43 is the number right now. The best book that I've read so far this year, I would have to say that it is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. This book was really hyped in 2022, and I have some reservations about hyped books because I've tried reading hyped books before and they are mostly kind of a letdown. So I wasn't really expecting myself to enjoy this as much as I did when I read it, and this came as a recommendation by a friend of mine. I was wrong to doubt her taste. I didn't really doubt her taste, but I was just like not expecting myself to like it as much as I did, and I loved it so much. I actually got this book quite recently in a trip that I went to KL, and I just saw this book and I was just like, I need to get it. And I've already transferred my tabs because when I first read it, I read it as an ebook, and then when I got the physical book, I transferred my tabs over. And then you can look at my legend here. This book is about Elizabeth Zott, who is a chemist in the early 1960s, and that's when misogyny and sexism is really very much apparent in general, like in the workplace, in the society. It's about how she has struggled to be a chemist, facing all the discrimination from like her all-male team, and then how she was forced to resign and somehow becomes a host of this cooking show known as Supper at 6. I really enjoyed how apparent and brutal the author writes about the discrimination that she faces, and also her interactions with the characters. Particularly, there is a dog in this book known as 630. Oh my goodness, that dog has a perspective, like a point of view. You can understand the dog in this book. It's just so cute. I'm someone who really loves reading about like scientific things in books when there is other elements also, like for example romance, or the plot is really good, and this is one of them. So I really enjoyed this, and this is by far the best book that I've read this year. Please pick this up if you are considering reading this book, Lessons in Chemistry. Next question. The best sequel I've read so far in 2023 is X's and O's by Amy Leah. This book is a sequel to Set on You by the same author. For Set on You, I found it okay. I didn't really like it, didn't really hate it. I found it just fine. So when I read X's and O's, thank you so much to Times Reads for sending me a copy of this. I wasn't really expecting much again, and then it just blew me out of the water. You can see my tabs. And this one is about Tara Chen, who loves romance novels. She has had her heart broken 10 different times by 10 different men. She needed a place to stay, so her brother-in-law offered her his apartment that he's renting with another person. She accepted the offer, and then when she went in, she met firefighter Trevor McCalf, who was doing something particularly naughty in the kitchen counter. That was their first meet. So Trevor has his reservations regarding a relationship, so he kind of does things more casually. The two form this tentative friendship together, and then Hara decides to revisit her 10 exes in the hopes of finding the one in the name of second chance romance. Trevor is enlisted to help. Okay, if you know me, you know that I don't like second chance romances, so I really didn't like the idea of her revisiting her exes, but the main point is with Trevor, so that was what got me through this book and what shined in this book, and it was so good. The epilogue. This book has one of the best epilogues I've ever read in a romance book, because normally I don't really have much of an opinion on epilogues. They're just fine, either like the two main leads living happily ever after or getting married or things like that, and just your average epilogue. But this one was so cute and it just gave me butterflies. And I just love this book so much. It is now next to the OG romance novel that I first gave a 5-star to, The Love Hypothesis. It's such a good sequel. The next question, a new release that you haven't read yet but want to. So I have 3 books for this answer. That would be firstly Begin Again by Emma Lord. All 3 books are on my most anticipated releases of 2023 video. This one is by Emma Lord, who has written Tweet Cute, which I have read. Not sure whether the video will be coming out before or after this, but if it came out before, I'll link it up above. If not, look out for that video. I enjoyed that. Now I am just starting to read this actually. I'm like page 28 so far. This one is about Andy Rose, who has her life planned out basically. She has a plan to transfer from her community college to the competitive Blue Ridge State, major in psychology, and become an iconic self-help figure, as well as follow the footsteps of her mother, because her mother was heavily involved in Blue Ridge State. Like, she studied there, she created a legacy there. But then the moment she arrives, her plans go off the rails, because she was planning to transfer there also to be with her boyfriend, but the boyfriend is MIA. They had a mix-up, and then after that she met Milo, who's disrupting all her ideas about love, one wisecrack at a time. When her dreams of following in her much-missed mother's footsteps seem to falter at the first hurdle, Andy learns that the best laid plans are not necessarily the right ones. I just graduated from uni a few months ago, and so now reading about this character going into uni is just making me nostalgic and relish the life I've never had because my uni life wasn't super exciting. I would like to live vicariously through her, so yeah, I'm excited to read this. The next one we have Grady Hendrix, How to Sell a Haunted House. Grady Hendrix wrote The Final Girl Support Group, which I didn't really like, but it kept me intrigued as to how slasher films worked, and it was very gory. But this one reminded me of Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, which I really enjoyed. It's like all the creepy vibes about haunted house, paranormal activities, things like that. So I am very excited for this one. Let me just read the synopsis to you. When Louise finds out that her parents have died, she dreads going home. She doesn't want to leave her daughter with her ex and fly to Charleston. She doesn't want to deal with a family home stuffed to the rafters with the remnants of her father's academic career and her mother's lifelong obsession with puppets and dolls. She doesn't want to learn how to live without the 2 people who knew and loved her best in the world. Most of all, she doesn't want to deal with her brother Mark, who never left their hometown, gets fired from one job after another, and resents her success. Unfortunately, she'll need his help to get the house ready for sale, because it will take more than some new paint on the walls and clearing out a lifetime of memories to get this place on the market. But some houses don't want to be sold, and Louise and Mark's home has other plans for both of them. And this book is quite thick, 413 pages, but I'm very excited. Hopefully there is an audiobook, hopefully it's creepy, and hopefully it's good. And the last book for this question is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I have a strong hate against the name Elsie, because if you didn't know, my name is Elise and people always call my name wrongly as Elsie, and it just triggers me to no end, but oh well. But I've heard a lot of good things about this particular novel by Ali Hazelwood, and Ali Hazelwood wrote The Love Hypothesis, which I really loved. Love on the Brain I enjoyed, but not as much as The Love Hypothesis. And now we have this one. The many lives of theoretical physicist Elsie Hanaway have finally caught up with her. By day, she's an adjunct professor toiling away at grading labs and teaching thermodynamics in the hopes of landing tenure. By other day, Elsie makes up for her non-existent paycheck by offering her services as a fake girlfriend, tapping into her expertly honed people-pleasing skills to embody whichever whatever version of herself the client needs. However, it's a pretty sweet gig until her carefully constructed Elsie verse comes crashing down, because Jack Smith, the annoyingly attractive and broody older brother of her favourite client, turns out to be the cold-hearted experimental physicist who ruined her mentor's career and undermined the reputation of theorists everywhere. And the same Jack who now sits on the hiring committee at MIT right between Elsie and her dream job. Elsie is prepared for an all-out war of scholarly sabotage, but those long penetrating looks, not having to be anything other than her true self when she's with him, will falling into an experimentalist's orbit finally tempt her to put her most guarded theories on love into practice. Really gives me the same vibes as The Love Hypothesis, as to how Jack is broody and Adam in The Love Hypothesis is grumpy. I'm very excited, hoping that it will be 5 stars. Okay, the next question. Most anticipated release for the second half of 2022. This will either be a repeat of the video wherein I talk about my more anticipated releases coming out in the second half of 2023 video, or it will be teasers to that video because I haven't decided the order just yet. So I am not going to elaborate much, just look out for that video or watch that video. It will be I'm Not Done With You Yet by Jessie Q Sutanto coming out August 22nd, and Sword Catcher by Cassandra Clare coming out October 10th. Next question. Biggest disappointment of the year so far? I actually struggled to answer this question, but if I had to say something, I would say that it will be Signed Here by Claudia Lux. Mainly because when I started reading the book, I was very intrigued. I thought it would be like a fast favourite because it had a lot of elements that I was intrigued in. For example, it's about a guy who works in hell and he's on the cusp of a big promotion if only he can get one more member of the wealthy Harrison family to sell their soul. And I'm so interested in how the author would lay out the foundations of that world. The main character, Piote Tripp, starts to work with this co-worker known as Calamity, and they have this kind of chemistry together, working towards that goal together, and it was quite intriguing. Their chemistry was quite good, but the execution kind of like fell flat after that. Like the plot and the execution, everything just I gave this book 2 stars because their chemistry kind of faded from the midpoint onwards, and then they were following this Harrison family and the members of the family were so bland. I just got very bored after that and I was so disappointed because I thought it would be one of my favourites of the year, but it wasn't and it disappointed. Yeah, that's my answer. Biggest surprise? Not sure if I have already mentioned these 2 books, but I've been gushing about them on my Bookstagram, and that would be When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. That one was really like a very unexpected favourite because I just randomly put a hold for the audiobook in the library and then it came, and then I think I first put the hold for Practice Makes Perfect and I started reading a few pages of that, and then I was like, oh, this is actually a companion novel to When in Rome, and I really felt that it would be 5 stars, like Practice Makes Perfect would be 5 stars. And then I was like, okay, I would like to start from the beginning, When in Rome, and then get to Practice Makes Perfect because I feel like both would be really good, and I'm so glad I made that decision because both of them are 5 stars. I don't even know if I was being lenient or whatever, but I just really enjoyed myself so much, and it was such a random, out of nowhere kind of find, and the feeling is so good. So When in Rome is about Amelia Rose, also known as Ray Rose. She's a celebrity. She's like the princess of pop, but she is burnt out after years of maintaining her image. Inspired by her favourite Audrey Hepburn film Roman Holiday, she drives off in the middle of the night for a break in Rome, but Rome, Kentucky. Her car breaks down on the lawn of Noah Walker's car. When they meet, he makes it clear that he doesn't have the time or patience for celebrity problems. He's too busy running the pie shop that his grandmother left him, but despite his better judgment, he lets her stay in his guest room only until her car is fixed, and then she's on her own. But then as they interact with each other, their feelings develop, and oh my goodness, it is so sweet. Firstly, both audiobooks are really good, like both books. Noah Walker is like such a sweet cinnamon roll. He runs a pie shop that his grandmother left him, and he has 2 sisters, and he is like so nice to both of them. Like, oh my god, they're so cute together. Their siblings are cute, and then he and Amelia Rose are cute. This one really gave me like freaking 10,000 butterflies, and then I was just like kicking my feet and then like gushing and gushing. Oh my goodness, perfect vibe. If you like small town romances, this is so cute. I binged this book as well as Practice Makes Perfect. So Practice Makes Perfect follows Noah's sister Annie, who is like the sweet shy little sister, and she's kind of like had enough of that image, but she can't break away from that image because she's in a small town. Everyone just sticks to that identity that they are assigned to, but she's on a quest to find true love. So she went on this blind date, but she overheard the date calling her unbelievably boring, and she's like feeling very dejected until she meets Will, who was Amelia in the first book's bodyguard. Will is like your typical bad boy, experienced, has a lot of tattoos. Somehow Will becomes Annie's tutor to help her get some practice so that she won't be so awkward and that she'll know what to do when she eventually goes on more dates. He gets so whipped for Annie, and it's so amazing to read about, like this bad boy just being so whipped for Annie, and it's just talking about this now makes me really want to reread Practice Makes Perfect again. Their story, like so many twists and turns that just make it so interesting. The plot is I'm just, oh my god, I'm so whipped for the characters in this town. I really hope there's a third book because I just binged both in a really short amount of time. I just can't wait to get back into that world. I hope it makes sense when the next question, who asked for favourite new author debut or new to you, I would say Sarah Adams, because both books were 5 stars. And also related, my newest fictional crush, next question, is Will Griffin from Practice Makes Perfect. Like, my newest favourite character will be 630 from Lessons in Chemistry, because this dog, he's so cute. He's like so protective of Elizabeth, so protective of all the members in their family, and it's just so cute. I have a lot of pink tabs, right, which is for like affection or love, and a lot of them are when 630 does something or says something. Very, very cute. And for the next question, book that made me cry, I actually don't have an answer for this because none of the books made me cry this year, I don't think. Yeah, I really don't think so. Like, not even happy tears or sad tears. I gushed a lot over a lot of romance books, but none of them led to a tear. So yeah, this is gonna be spoilers, but a book that made me happy, I have read for a video and it hasn't come out yet because I haven't finished filming that video just yet. So but it's okay. That book would be Yours Truly. I will not tell you what rating I gave it because please watch that video when it comes out, but just know that I enjoyed it. I actually gushed a lot on camera for that portion of the video while I was reading that book. Safe to say it made me really happy. Next question is also the second last question. Most beautiful book that I've bought or received this year. Do I need to say anything more? Look at this. This is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I never in my life thought I would have this book, but I bought it the same time I bought Lessons in Chemistry, and this book was on freaking discount. So I was like, I have to get this for myself. A freaking hardcover for a discount is amazing. I'm not gonna lie, this length really terrifies me, but I'm hoping that I will get to it soon. Look at the detail on this cover. The back is like this part, and then there's the spine, oh my goodness. And the naked hardcover just has this RFK, and then there's the spine. Yes, I don't think I need to explain why this answers the question, right? But I'm terrified because I did not like the puppy wall. So I am very, very much terrified that I will not enjoy this after buying this. But I will try to keep an open mind, and hopefully this book will be better than the puppy wall. It's so pretty. For the last question, any books to read by the end of the year? There are so many. Okay, namely all the books that I've received from Times Reads. I've just taken out a few to show you. Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I am so excited to read this, but I need to find the time to read it. A Cosmic Kind of Love, The Girls of Summer, Stone Blind, which I've seen quite a few people reading this on Bookstagram lately. The Adventures of Amina El Sirafi. I am very excited for this. Now that I've seen a lot of people reading this on Bookstagram, like the hype just gets to me. And not the last, and definitely not the least, The Cloisters by Katie Hayes. All beautiful books, all of which I need to get to before the end of the year. Yeah, that is my reading so far this year, and with that we have come to the end of this video. If you are still watching, please comment this bicep emoji because I definitely need the luck and the well wishes. If you're a fellow reader, please let me know down in the comments how your reading year is going. What's your favourite book so far this year? Let's have a discussion in the comments. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel for more of such content as I try to hit my reading goal for the rest of the year. I hope you're having a great day or a great week whenever or wherever you're watching. Remember to stay hydrated, and I will see you in my next video.